They're like, when they go to war and they have those those bombs or whatever. What are they called in the ground, Brother Jimmy? Landmines. That is the enemy. He has got some landmines out there. Always value your brothers and sisters in one body, the church. And there again, just that backs up what I said earlier. I value each one of y'all. I really do. You have a special place in my heart. There's just things about you and your personality that I cherish, and and the most important thing is that we can come together and we can fellowship. We're not saying this side's right and that side's wrong, and this side likes that song and this side don't. That's Babylon. That's right. Just like when Katrina come through and the two churches down Hardy Street and 49, and one had more destruction done to its building, so they went over to the Methodist church, and the Methodist church went into a later service, I'm just going to guess, say 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, to allow that other religion to come in and use their building. Yeah, use their building, but they couldn't worship together because they had different beliefs. They had it was a totally different system. I can't remember what church that was, Presbyterian or something, but that's what Babylon will do to people, Brother Leslie, Danny.
I believe Jesus said that they worship me with their heart, with their mouth, but their hearts
far from me. Yep. Yep. And that is so real. If we just stop for a moment and just think about what's going on this time on Sunday. How many people are doing just what he said? Their hearts are far from him. They're just living their life, and they think it's okay. And that's such a deception that the enemy has out there, to think that they're okay. Me being around so-called a Christian school, they have a lot of good benefits because the children do get to listen to Bible stories and do get to participate in saying the pledges of the Bible and the Christian flag and the United States flag. But there's still some things there that are not true. One, the devil was never in heaven. He didn't have a legion of angels to go with him. That's what these people are being taught out there. And in my mind, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, that doesn't even make sense. If we are striving here on earth to make it to heaven, I don't want to take a chance on falling out of heaven. I mean, my whole point of enduring here on earth is so I can have that security of heaven. And I don't have to worry about if I'm going to fall off and go against God or whatever. That never happened. That doesn't even make any sense. But that's where the enemy has their minds. Brother Wynn.
They're the ones that believe in once saved, always saved.
Yes.
And then Jesus said he's never abode in the truth. The truth is in heaven, is in the church of God, but they're the ones, I mean, really, I had a talk with my daddy through the years of different things, and I knew he had unbelief. Unbelief was called by Babylon.
Yep.
And I was stuck in it, but God was, he's faithful to talk to everybody, to witness to.
Yes.
So I know God worked on him as well as me, but it takes that honest heart.
Honest.
And then if I obey his voice, Jesus' voice, I won't have unbelief. But he did, and I kept telling him, I said, you need to obey. I mean, it was hard to work with somebody in Babylon, especially my family and all, but he believed in once saved, always saved, and he believed that the devil was in heaven, and I tried to tell him, said, Jesus said, he never abode in the truth, but he lost his salvation, maybe, I guess you say.
Yeah.
But they're the ones that believe once
God.
saved, always saved.
Yeah.
I believe once saved, stay saved.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember many conversations that Danny had with his daddy, and some of that very stuff that you're talking about came up. And in that one religion that we know of, is just dead set on those thoughts. And it's sending millions of people to hell. And it's very sad, you know. If you're sitting here this morning and you don't know God in your heart, you really, really need to take heed, because he could be calling you through this lesson of unbelief. He could be calling you and saying, hey, wake up and realize that the enemy is not your friend. He never will be. This is where you need to be. And all that stuff that he promises out there, just like I read that little commentary, he promises much, but he can deliver nothing except for hell. And that's exactly what he wants. He wants to take everybody he possibly can with him. I'm not going to have time to finish this, but let me go into 3:14 through 16. There are trials and tests in Christian race. It is necessary to hold our confidence in the Lord steadfast unto the end. The word says that they who endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Though there were hundreds of thousands that came out of Egypt, not all believed. Many fell in the wilderness, not all, but not all. There were those who did believe. Let us encourage you to be among them that remain faithful. And that's what we have to do, just remain faithful. Danny, see if you can get Hebrews 3:17.
But with whom was he grieved 40 years? Was it not with them that had sinned, whose carcasses fell in the wilderness?
And it does grieve God that people are in sin. It grieves him that they are in these institutions and not being fed and being deceived. Unbelief produces sin. Hebrews 11:6 declares, but without faith it is impossible to please him, God. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Sin is repulsive to and the direct opposite of the nature of God. It is no wonder he hates it. The nature of sin requires that he who is guilty of it be punished. And that's going to be the sad part, is that, there's a day that we're all going to meet, whether Christ comes and we all meet it then, or we meet it in our own death. It's going to be that day. A great deal of religious indifferences has resulted from the modern teaching that it does not make any difference what we believe, just so we are sincere, and that we should never say anything against another belief or faith. It seems that people would realize that the nature of the devil, which is to deceive and to lie, requires that he twist and distorts the word of God in order to get the people to disobey the word of God. In Ephesians 5:6 we read, let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of God, upon the children of disobedience. If any man will seek God with all his heart, he will find him. Jeremiah 29:13. And if he desires to know the doctrine, God will teach him. John 7:17. So there's hope for people, and we just have to stay where we're at spiritually. We have to stay close to God and just be obedient to him. Name 2 good defenses against unbelief. Two defenses: prayer, study, obey. How many churches does God have? One. We have no trouble believing that one. That one is settled forever in heaven. Who is the head of his church? Jesus. What is the result of turning against light? Unbelief. That's it. Consider the experience of the Israelites in the wilderness. So that's part of that unbelief. All right, y'all have a blessed day.